In the last lecture, we've seen how to read CSV files. Now, I'm going to show you how to write CSV files in Python. Writing a CSV file is similar to reading a CSV file. Instead of using the reader function, we use the writer function of the same CSV module. This function returns a writer object that will be actually used to write rows to the CSV file. Having the writer object, we call a method named writeRow, and we simply pass in a list or a tuple. The items in the list will be converted to columns in the CSV. I want to show you an example. We have a very simple CSV file with 3 columns or fields: ID, name, and city. And I want to add another row to this CSV file. First, we open the CSV file in append mode. The name of the file, people.csv. The CSV file and the Python script are in the same directory. The file will be opened in append mode, and the name of the object is CSV file. Now I am creating a writer object. Writer equals csv.writer, and I pass in the CSV file object as an argument. After creating the writer object, I will create the list or the tuple that will be added to the CSV file. Let's say CSV data equals, and my tuple is 5, N, and Amsterdam. Writer.writeRow of CSV data. And that's all. It's pretty straightforward how you can write rows to a CSV file in a typical way. Let's run the script. There is no error, and if we check the content of the CSV file, we can see how a new row has been added. Of course, if you want to write more rows to a CSV file, you use a for loop in order to call the writeRow method many times. Let's see a new example. I'm going to create a new CSV file and write to that file the numbers from 1 to 100 in the first field or column. The second field will be the square of these numbers. In the third field, we'll put the numbers raised to the power of 3, and in the last field, the same numbers raised to the power of 4. So with open the name of the file, numbers.csv, the file will be opened in write mode. It will create this file as f. Writer equals csv.writer of f. I'll add a first row, so a header, writer.writeRow, and I'll pass in a list. So x, the first field, x to the power of 2, this is the second field, x to the power of 3, and x raised to the power of 4. Now I'm going to use a for loop for x in range 1, 101. I want to add the numbers from 1 to 100, so 1 is included, but 101 is not included, so x excluded, colon, and the for block of code. Writer.writeRow of, and I'll use a list x, x raised to the power of 2, x raised to the power of 3, and x raised to the power of 4. That's all. I'm going to run the script. Now, in the same directory, A new file named numbers.csv has been created. Everything looks just fine. We see the right numbers. The only problem is that it added an extra new line after each row. If we don't want this extra new line, we add another argument to the open function. Here, where we open the file, we add another argument, an optional argument called newLine equals and an empty string. By default, the new line is a \n. I'll run the script again. And I'll open numbers.csv one more time. And there is no extra new line after each row. This is how we write CSV files in Python.